Now, since this event has started, the mainstream media, the financial pundits, they were all talking about a complete and utter collapse of the system. The market was going to collapse. Everything was going to freeze up. And the entire global economic system was going to crash because of this event. And here we are, where we have not seen a crash as of yet. Actually, the market has been pretty stable. Trump right now and the Patriots, they have been sending checks out to the people. A second wave of checks is going to be coming. We know that Trump has set up loans for businesses to make payroll, looking for more money. All of this was to transition this system into the new system, to get through this hurdle. Now, is every business going to make it? No, that'd be completely impossible. But I do believe they're doing their best to get everyone on board so we can get to the next phase. Now, the Federal Reserve, that is being nationalized by Trump. It's in the beginning stages. I do believe going back to like 2018, 2019, Trump and the Patriots, they took control over the Fed. I do believe Powell has been working with him. And they are now pushing the Federal Reserve, the central bank system, to the edge. They're going to push it into overdrive and do whatever they possibly can to save the economy. Now, I'm not talking about the central bank economy. I'm talking about the people's economy. In order to save the people's economy, he needs to work within the central bank system. This is why he needs the central bank right now to do all-out stimulus, bring the rates down, and even do more. Now, the Federal Reserve, they are easing regulatory pressure on Wells Fargo. Remember, they had some problems going back a couple of years here, and they are now going to underwrite emergency small business loans under the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, these loans are going to go to small businesses. What we saw in 2008, 2009 is not happening right now. 2008, 2009, 10, 11, all that we saw happening, the stimulus, the TARP, and all that stuff, all went to the banking system, went to AIG and other central banks around the globe. That's not happening this time. The stimulus right now is going to the people. Checks are going to individuals. We also see loans and checks going to small businesses. And there are major companies right now that are helping out. There are banks now saying, listen, you don't have to pay your mortgage right now. We're not going to foreclose. Major auto insurers are now refunding premiums due to what is happening right now. So Trump and the Patriots, with all their acts that they put into place, the Defense Production Act, National Emergency, and everything else, the Paycheck Protection Program, they are driving the economy as hard as they possibly can. I'm talking about the central bank economy, using everything the Fed has to keep the system alive. Remember going back in time when Trump said he would like the rates lowered, and the mainstream media, they were out there saying, listen, if you lower the rates, it's going to crash the economy. Well, we always need to remember, central bank, mainstream media, corrupt politicians, it's always the opposite. Lowering the rates doesn't crash the economy in this illusion that we're in. Raising the rates in an illusionary economy, that is what crashes the economy. They have it reversed to convince you it's always the other way. Now, Trump, he is pushing for another $250 billion more in aid for small businesses. And yesterday in his presser, he talked about payroll tax cuts. And he was thinking, maybe we can just have it permanently. I do believe he's going to try to push this. So why is all of this working now? Trump is using the playbook they used back in 2008. What happened to the economy? Did it crash? No. The Federal Reserve, through an enormous amount of stimulus, lowering the rates, it was able to keep the system moving along. Yes, there's going to be a certain point where you won't be able to do this. Trump right now, he's taking this economy and using what they did in 2008, 2009, 10, and 11, and now he has multiplied that by 100. Because he understood that the central bank system that we're in right now would not last, especially with this event that we're in. So remember, the balance sheet of the Fed, it exploded over the past 4 weeks. It increased by 37% to $6 trillion, $5.8 trillion to be exact. It's supposed to hit $9 trillion. I mean, this is unbelievable. Because what we saw going back to 2009, 10, 11, 12, the Fed balance sheet reached something like $4 trillion. This is going to do it in a couple of months. This is how hard Trump is pushing the central bank. Now, since he is doing this, what has it done? Well, most of the new purchases have been U.S. Treasury bonds and agency mortgage-backed securities. And as dramatic as the balance sheet increase has been, it will continue to grow as the Fed expands its programs and implements its new initiatives to purchase corporate bonds and support small business loan programs. What Trump and the Patriots have done, they've taken the 2008 playbook and said, okay, this worked. We're going to take it and we're going to accelerate it because we need to keep the system operational long enough for Trump to complete the entire transition. Now, first, the Fed eliminated the cap on open market operations and committed to purchase $125 billion of U.S. Treasuries and mortgage-backed securities per day the week of March 23rd. It would then continue to purchase Treasury bonds, MBS, and commercial mortgage-backed securities as needed to provide enough liquidity to satisfy market demands. In the past, the Fed would put a limit on the amount of securities that it would purchase, but now it is unlimited. Second, the Fed resurrected the Term Asset-Backed Security Loan Facility. The intent of TALF is to support the funding of consumer credit, such as student loan, autos, credit cards, and things like that, so it doesn't freeze up. Trump, the Patriots, they understood this. This was planned out. This is why we're not going to see the system crash. And since the Fed expanded its mirage of alphabet soup lending programs on March 23rd, the corporate bond market and equity markets have rebounded solidly. Now, since Trump right now is keeping the system alive, once this event is over, and Trump keeps talking about pent-up demand, once this event is over, people are going to want to get out there. People are going to go to their jobs. People are going to make money. And Trump, he is going to take the programs that we see today, those are going to go into overdrive to keep all these businesses open and allow the businesses to make payroll so they can get back on their feet. Plus, he's going to have a lot of tax deductions. He's going to use this time period to do things he normally couldn't do. Now, as all these funds are coming in from the stimulus program, keeping these businesses open, people going back to work, what happens next? Well, people have been stuck inside a long time. People back on the job now. What do people want to do? They want to go out. They want to visit stores. They want to go out to eat. They want to do all the things they couldn't do when this whole event was going on. This is going to be the pent-up demand. What he has done right now is he laid the groundwork for all of this. Then, as we move into the rest of spring, moving into summer, the economy will start to pick up because more and more people will feel secure. Businesses will get back on their feet. What kicks in next? The USMCA. All of a sudden, we're going to see everything change. Trump, the Patriots, they knew exactly what the playbook was. They knew exactly what they were going to need. They knew that if they were able to have the Fed, which they knew this was going to happen, come down almost to zero, He's probably even going to try to push the Fed to come down even lower and do unlimited stimulus. Remember, it was limited back in 2008. This is unlimited. He would be able to keep the central bank system alive long enough to get through the elections, long enough to complete the first part of the transition, long enough to continually nationalize the Fed, long enough to get reelected. And then, once that happens, he removes all the blocks and the power structure of the central bank, the deep state. He has all the power. We're watching the plan play out in real time.